thank you so much for coming out tonight to hear us speak. We're Team Echo, and we're going to present our campaign for the Renaissance Center for Ideas. I'm Peyton Green, and this is Molly Burns, Grace Wickwire, Chloe Wilson, Laura Mieske, and Annalisa Jordan. And Laura's going to start off first.
All right. Hi, y'all. Thanks, Peyton. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with our research insight of the RCFI building. The RCFI needs its own website that's apart from the CDF building. In order to make it easier for us to find on the CDF website, it's very difficult to navigate around and to try to find the RCFI. Mr. Wilson told our class that the locals who drive around the RCFI every day don't know what it is. And so obviously we realized that that was a big problem for the RCFI. The only people who really know about the center are the current and former occupants of the building. We found that some tenants who spend time in this center become too comfortable to grow, or who just simply fail out of the business, or of the center. The center has prestige nationally, but the lack of local awareness prevents growth in the area. And now I'm going to pass it on to Chloe.
Hi, I'm going to be talking about target audience. The target audience for the Renaissance Center of Ideas would be small businesses that find a niche in the market and are able to compete with large companies. Startup companies are growing rapidly, and the Renaissance Center for Ideas want these startup companies to move into their building. Unlike other buildings, the Renaissance Center has provided a great deal of amenities that small businesses or startup companies could greatly benefit from. We also want to target residents of the Tupelo and Lee County area. While at the center, it was brought to our attention that not very many people know about the Renaissance Center for Ideas. Another problem being that if they don't know what it is, they don't necessarily know what the center does. So it's very crucial that we get the word out about what the center does and how it has been helping the community. And now Annalisa is going to talk about competitors.
Hey, I'm Annalisa. Okay, so there's not really that many other business incubators in Mississippi. There's one in Jackson, there's one in Starkville, and there's one in Oxford. So our competition doesn't really come from other incubators. It comes more from banks and lawyers and office-based rentals. So like instead of if a potential occupant going to a bank to ask for a startup loan for a company, or going to a lawyer to get legal advice or help, or going to an office rental space to find somewhere to start up their company, we'd rather them just come to us and ask for our advice and help to get started. So that's really our main competition. And now Molly will take the floor.
I'm Molly, and I'm going to talk to you about the brand position. Our main goal for the RCFI is to achieve and maintain a prestigious reputation among the community. We want people who drive by, like driving down Main Street, to know who the RCFI is, what the building is, what they have to offer. And we want to brand the RCFI as the most respected and professional outlet to start a business in the Northeast Mississippi area. And just like Annalisa said, we don't want them to go to banks. We don't want to go to lawyers or other like rental areas. We want them to come to the RCFI. We want the center to produce graduates who are educated in all the ins and outs of running a successful small business, and really bring the graduation rate down from 3 years to 1 year. And now Grace is going to talk about the communication objectives.
Okay, I'm Grace Wickwire, and I'm going to tell you a little about what we've decided the RCFI's communication objectives would be through our campaign. With our campaign, we want people to see it and ask more. Say, wow, what is that? What do they do? We want them to go to our website and inquire more. We want them to ask how it works, how does it benefit the community, what does it provide for its tenants. So then essentially we want to create awareness, we want to create interest, and we want to create a positive image for the community. And we want it to be also, as Annalisa and both Molly have said, a prestigious place for small businesses to go and get the proper education to succeed in the real world.
So when we started this campaign, we came up with a slogan, your ideas, our resources, a brighter future. And we thought this slogan was it would be successful and engaging and grabbing people's attention because it's basically breaking down like what the center will do for you. And so basically when people read this, you're gonna be like, my ideas, I have ideas, you know, people are looking into the center, they're gonna have ideas, and they're showing that we have great resources, and people want to hear that you're gonna have a bright future. And with the Renaissance Center for Ideas, you will have a bright future. We went with the light bulb themed logo, and Molly will show that later, because we're building on the word of ideas.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about our print ad ideas. And so these are our print ad, and if you would like to turn to page 26 through 29 in your book, you can see a closer up version of all of them. Okay, so to start with the first one, these will be used in newspaper, business journals, billboards, and any other area where a print ad would be necessary. The theme is consistent throughout the campaign, as reflected in the advertisements with the use of the light bulb. We require every advertisement created to include our logo, our slogan, and website to maintain consistency throughout the campaign. So a few of the taglines to go along with our print advertisements are as follows. So the first two is "The world runs on ideas," and we have the light bulb doubling as, you know, an image of the earth and also as the sun, and it really just shows that the world runs on ideas. And then the one down here is "Society powered by ideas," and it shows a community coming together to come together to have ideas and create things from their ideas. And the last one is "You won't find any dim bulbs here," and that's really just showing that, like, you are your ideas, and if you have an idea, we bringing them to the RCFI, we will turn them into like a successful business. And so those are our print ads, and we would be using those, like I said, for all the different media outlets.
For our media mix, like I said earlier, that their website is kind of lost in the CDF place. So what we want to do is completely revamp it, create a new website just for the RCFI, and we would also be adding social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, different outlets like that for the younger demographics. And then for the baby boomers, we would really like to do the TV spots, radios, and then we would, air TV spots.
Okay, our open house is kind of like our public relations aspect of our campaign. And so all the current tenants would be participating in it. They would just kind of open their doors and let everyone in and kind of mingle with them and tell them what all is going on at the center. We just thought an open house would be a good way to kind of get the public in if they don't really understand it, to kind of let the actual tenants that are there explain a little bit more about it to them. We would invite the graduates to come back if they want to and kind of, chat with the current tenants and the visitors there, just to kind of tell them, more about it, because no one really knows what it is or what goes on inside. We thought, and we were going to invite the media to kind of come and cover the event and get some exposure. We just thought this would be a good way to kind of bring the Tupelo community together, just as a whole, and it would be a really great opportunity for them to all network together, like the graduates, the tenants right now, the potential tenants. It's just a really good opportunity for everyone to kind of come and get together and network with each other. We would have complimentary refreshments, of course, to mingle and chat over, and then we would send out a press release to all the local newspapers. And then on page 30, if y'all want to turn to that, is a mock-up of the invitation we would use to invite everyone. And what we were going to do with that is make it an insert into the local newspapers, like the Daily Journal and maybe the Mississippi Business Journal and kind of other publications like that. So everyone kind of gets a chance to see it and be aware of it and make sure they can come. And that would be on January 14th of our campaign.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the website a little bit more. If you would like to turn to page 24, you can see the template we have come up with for the website. So the new website would be www.rcfitupelo.org. And there would be a link that could take you from the CDF, because that's how most people, have known to get to it. But it would also be its standalone website. The cost to register and produce it would be around $3,000, and it would launch on December 1st, and that would be to kick off our campaign. And so this is just kind of what the homepage would be laid out as. And so there's an area for you to subscribe for updates. And you just basically put your email in, and it would allow us then to know, these people are looking at our website. We can see how many views we have, but we can't see, specifically who these people are. But with that, it would be easier to know who's interested in us and what we can provide for them. And then it allows us to send them updates, about the open house, about any other event we're having. I know at the RCFI they have speakers every once in a while, and just to have the community involved and able to have updates.
Okay, so for the social media aspect of our campaign, we decided to create a hashtag Center for Ideas, and this is where we'd use this on the Center's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page. And we thought this would be a great way for prospective tenants and just people who live in the Tupelo area to learn more about the center and the tenants that they have, but also a way for them to share, like on Twitter and Instagram, their thoughts of small businesses and their ideas of how they could get involved with the center. And so when people use the hashtag Center for Ideas, their username will be entered into a raffle and for the open house, and the prize would be a basket of goodies provided by current tenants, which each current tenant will put in a unique product from their business. So not only is the open house helping the center get attention, but it's also letting people in the Tupelo area know about the current tenants, so it's helping their business and getting them more involvement in the area. If you turn to page 23, you'll see a copy of our banner ad, and this banner ad we'll be using on Facebook, Twitter, and our search engines. And we use this banner ad because we wanted it to be the photo of the center, so that when people see it on the internet, they'll be like, oh, that's the building, I don't really know what it is, so you can click on and get more engaging. For Facebook and Twitter, we had the option to pay for promotional posts about the RCFI, and you click to post. And then also the search engine optimization would ensure the RCFI's primetime placement on sites such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo, which will also be posting the banner ad. For the newspaper, we decided to do inserts and then also place ads. And so, as you saw on page 30, right, that Annalisa talked about the open house invitation, we're going to be using that as an insert in a flyer. So in local newspapers such as the Daily Journal and the Northeast Mississippi Business Journal. Along with that, we're going to be placing ads in these same newspapers, and they're going to be starting as full-page ads and then slowly cutting them down to half-page ads and quarterly ads throughout the campaign, and they will launch December 7th, 2015.
Okay, for our first TV spot, it's going to be about 15 seconds long, and we're going to have it run through December 14th through December 31st. It's basically going to be a holiday ad, which is or a holiday TV spot, and basically all the residences are going to say, happy holidays, hope you have a good, safe holiday, and so it's really just kind of going to bring the center together a little bit, and that's what we're trying to promote in the 15-second ad.
Okay, for the TV spot 2. This is our storyboard for our 30-second animated TV commercial featuring Fred's Flower Shop, and it will air the second half of our campaign. So for the first scene, this is Fred, and he's upset because his flower shop is not making money. Notice his flowers are wilting, he's kind of flustered and unhappy with the situation. In the second scene, Fred sees an ad on the TV about the Renaissance Center for Ideas, and that's where he starts to get influenced, and he's thinking, this could possibly save my business. So in the third scene, Fred views this as an opportunity, and he makes his way to the center in hopes of a brighter future. And happy music is playing during this time. Notice it went from black and white to color, hence the path is his way to the brighter future, to the Renaissance Center of Ideas. The fourth scene is when Fred got accepted into the Renaissance Center. And at the center, Fred uses the incubator's resources to build up and further expand his business. The fifth is upon graduating the Renaissance Center for Ideas program, Fred is now the proud owner and manager of his successful business, Fred's Flower Shop. And the last scene is our slogan, your ideas, our resources, brighter future. And Fred is a prime example of a success story that came out of the center. And then this is our average production cost would be between $6,000 to $7,000, and then cost per spot $275 to $300 to $500, just depending on what time of day it's airing.
Okay, like we have 2 TV spots, we also have 2 radio spots. The first 30-second spot is very similar to the first TV spots. It's just having all the tenets of the RCFI, wishing everyone a happy holidays. And this would be broadcast on radio stations such as Thacker Mountain Radio, and then popular stations like Mississippi 98, 103.9, and of course Rebel Radio. And the production cost we estimate is around $200, and then the cost per spot is $25, and we would like this to air during the AM drive and PM drive, targeting people going to and from work. So then for the second 30-second radio ad, it's a conversation between a young business entrepreneur and his friend. So me and Molly, if you'd like to go to page 37, you can read along.
Okay, sound effect. A busy household with TV in the background. Kitchen sounds doorbell.
Come on in.
Hey man, what's going on here?
Just trying to print my t-shirts for my small business while the kids watch TV and the wife cooks dinner.
The shirts look great, but man, how do you get any work done here?
I don't know. I am kind of learning as I go and hoping for the best.
Light bulb being turned on.
Simon, you need to go to the Renaissance Center for Ideas.
What is that?
It's a small business incubator. With your business, their resources, you'll have a brighter future.
I'll hit up www.rcfitupelo.org and look into applying.
So that's just a little taste of the second 30-second ad. And the Christmas ad would run during the first half of our campaign, and the little ad we just read for you now would run during the second part of our campaign.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about our timeline for our campaign. If you would like to turn to page 38, you can follow along more specifically with the dates. So we have it launching December 1st, 2015, and it's an 8-week campaign, and it'll end on January 23rd, 2016. We really wanted to hit on the December-January timeline because New Year's resolutions, people are finally, if they see our ads, they might get the motivation to finally follow their ideas and go to the RCFI. And just with the Christmas theme, just keeping all of that alive. So on December 1st, we will launch the standalone RCFI website, which we talked about earlier, and that'll really just kick off the campaign. We will also release our social media outlets on that day, so really just getting awareness out there as soon as we can. Then on December 7th, our newspaper ads will release, and December 15th and December 31st are the dates that our 2 TV spots and radio ads release. And then to kind of close out after all of our ads, we'll have an open house on the 14th, which Anna Liza talked about. We're hoping that having that about a week and a half before the campaign ends and about 6 weeks into the campaign will allow us to have more people come to the open house than we would if we had it earlier in the campaign.
I'm going to tell y'all about our budget. It's on page 39 of your books, or you can just follow along up here. Okay, so as you can see, our total budget is $50,000 for our entire campaign. We spent about $3,010 on our website, the www.rcfi.tupelo.org. That's that. About $1,200 on our local radio ads, $7,870 on our local TV ads, around $450 on newspaper, and then our total internet cost is $6,877.50, and that includes the promoted posts on Facebook and the promotional tweets on Twitter, so that's all kind of included in that. So that's our total internet cost. And then for the open house, we kind of estimated we would spend about $2,000 on like refreshments and decorations and what have you. So our estimated total cost is $21,407.50, which gives you $28,592.50. cents left over to do with what you please. So that is our budget for our campaign.
Okay. We have 3 ways that we would like to evaluate the successful campaign. The first way we like to evaluate it is 6 months after the campaign is launched and then a year after the campaign is launched. We would like to check the number of applicants at the RCFI to see if that has gone up in any way. And then the second way we would like to evaluate this campaign is to check every 3 months or quarterly the number of views on the new website. And then thirdly, the last way we like to evaluate the campaign is to check up on the social media to see if the increase in visits there and the increase of followers or supporters in any way like that has changed at all.
And on behalf of Team ECHA, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out and hearing us talk about our campaign on how we plan on raising awareness and interest for the center. And if you have any questions, you can ask them.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plan on driving people to your website and social media? You can have the best website in the world, but if you don't get people there, you don't have anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of where our TV ads, radio ads, and print ads really come in, because we know that a lot of, when we talked to Judd Wilson, he said that a lot of people read the business journals, and so that is a big place that if you want to get people who are business thinkers that have those sort of ideas, that's the place to go. And so that's why we've targeted that the strongest with our print advertisements. And even if it's just with our logo, everywhere that our logo is, our website is attached to it, so you won't see the logo and then all of our ads will have the website. And so, if there's people are wondering, you hear it on the radio, they talk about the RCFI, the Renaissance Center for Ideas, and you're from Tupelo and you hear it's on Main Street, and you're like, I know Main Street, where is that at? They'll go to the website, and that's really how we're trying to, drive views to the website.
Right, and on social media, you can, to get people to like the page, you can send an invite to them and say, hey, we've created this new page. You can invite them to like it, and Instagram and Twitter, you can follow them first. And most of the time, I do it, we probably all do it, you'll follow them back just to kind of see what's all going on. So that's a good way to kind of get people to actually initially kind of see what's going on.
And we're relying on the tenants a lot too.
Yeah.
Normally, if you're a business mind thinker, you have friends that are, it's all word of mouth. Tupelo, you have community events, you talk about those things, and we're hoping that the open house and the promotional things really help just, I might not be interested, but one of my friends, I know that they have, been wanting to start a flower shop or a t-shirt company, and you just kind of relay that information around.
How about your storyboard? I love your
Do you want to see it? Do you want to have it? It's a gift.
You didn't get Chuck McIntosh to help you with that, did you?
No.
Cartoonist?
It's all Chloe Wilson.
Okay. I like it. Okay, guys. Well, hey.
I just one more question on your budget, especially for the advertising. Did that include creative costs, or was that just the media?
That was our production and
Really?
media budget.
Okay.
It's for the local coverage that we're looking for. The prices, it was crazy. We looked at
Really,
local
really
coverage, and then we
practical.
looked at national coverage, and it's difference in millions and billions dollars. So it's just crazy the difference
It's much
between
more
them.
practical to just target where the center actually is and cheaper.
I like that, but on your radio, I'm wondering why Rebel Radio, because we don't get, I happen to live in Tupelo. I don't get Oxford Radio in Tupelo. So I did kind of
Well,
question.
because there's an
the radio
incubator in
station.
Oxford. There's a business incubator in Oxford on the campus. And so we were hoping that, there's a lot of people that once they graduate, they're not going to stay in Oxford, but they might be, from Starkville, Jackson, or Tupelo. And that's we're trying to reach them, with those ads.
And then one last thing, and this is, you might go back and recheck your newspaper costs. Just
Yeah.
the full page ad in the journal is way more than $480, and that was your whole campaign. I mean, your whole newspaper cost. So you might check that next time and recalculate.
We got plenty of room then.
That's a good thing.
I have just a point of clarification. So you were using traditional media really to drive new media,
Yes.
more so than using new media to drive
Yes,
traditional.
because there's a
What was behind that decision?
Well, so our target audience, it goes, there's definitely the baby boomer generation, which my parents are further removed from social media. They, Twitter would not do much for them. But if they hear it on the radio, they see it on TV, that will connect with them. And then I'm completely opposite. Seeing it on TV might not connect with me, but if I see people, a trending hashtag, I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. I'll click on it. So it's the fact that we have a very separated target market, and there's a gap in between the two target markets.
So you have we kind of have the range of students who are graduating, who may not want to go, work for another company, they want to be an entrepreneur. We need to grasp those kids through, she said, social media. And then also, how many people are retired that want to restart a business, or want to they're having a midlife crisis, they're like, I'm done, I want to start my own business. So that's how we were targeting them.
And I also feel like if the older generation has a reason to use these new forms of media. I know when my mom wanted to find out something, she was like, oh, I have a reason to go on Facebook, I have a reason to go on Twitter. I feel like that will also help, promote the new media as well.
Okay.
Thank you.